She has served the Hellenic government in several years in various duties. She's the Minister of Social Cohesion and Family. Actually, she's in Argolida, accompanying the Greek Prime Minister. They pay a visit, and this is why she cannot be in person here. But we welcome her. Κυρία Υπουργέ, δεν ξέρω αν με βλέπετε.
Καλημέρα, ναι, και σας βλέπω και σας ακούω. Καλημέρα.
Καλώς ήρθατε ή ήλθατε, όπως το λέμε. Σας ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Καλή επιτυχία στην Αργολίδα και είμαστε έτοιμοι να ακούσουμε την ομιλία σας τη σχετική. Σας ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ.
Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ και συγχαρητήρια για την διοργάνωση και την υποβοήθηση αυτού του πολύ σημαντικού event. Και βέβαια θερμά συγχαρητήρια πηγαίνουν και στον ΩΣΑ σε αυτή την εξαιρετική πρωτοβουλία την οποία είχε ο Έλληνας Πρωθυπουργός και μετουσιώθηκε σε ένα διεθνές κέντρο το οποίο θα αναφέρεται στη δυναμική του πληθυσμού με αποφάσεις οι οποίες θα λαμβάνονται πάντα πάνω σε δεδομένα. Να συγχαρώ και το Δημογραφικό και βέβαια και όσους συνέβαλαν έτσι ώστε να μπορεί σήμερα να γίνει αυτό το σημαντικό ξεκίνημα που είμαι σίγουρη ότι θα γίνει και θεσμός. Ο κύριος Άρης Αλεξόπουλος, πρώτος επικεφαλής αυτού του Διεθνούς Γραφείου, βρίσκεται εκεί και έκανε μια σημαντική εκκίνηση. Ενώ ο κύριος Παγουλάτος, με τον οποίο έχουμε έτσι τη χαρά και την περηφάνεια να συνεργαζόμαστε, ο ίδιος ο εκπρόσωπός μας στα θέματα του ΩΣΑ, νομίζω ότι έβαλε το πλαίσιο πάρα πολύ ουσιοδών παρεμβάσεων που ήδη γίνονται, με την Ελλάδα να παίζει ένα σημαντικό ρόλο, θα έλεγα, και με την παρουσία των Υπουργών μας σε εξελίξεις συζητήσεις, Υπουργών που αργότερα από ό,τι καταλαβαίνω θα είναι και εκεί. Allow me to switch to English, as I've been asked to speak in English, and I very gladly do so, in order also to acknowledge the presence of the esteemed guests that are there from abroad, or people that are following this important discussion online. And I wish to greet everyone, and of course everybody who is there, excellencies, members of parliament, members of local administration, regional administration, and experts that are there, apart from the other members of government and policy hierarchy. So again, appreciation for organizers and co-hosts, and of course Delphi Economic Forum, as we will also be talking about these issues, very important and diverse issues also in the upcoming forum in spring. It is important to begin with praise, and I will never limit myself from saying that. And I'm sure that the Secretary General, who will be following up his speech, he will mention that the thing that there is the first time ever an OECD office that will function as an observatory for people dynamics, for demographic issues based in Greece, but of course referring to many countries and taking best practices alongside acknowledging all the data that is being directed towards people dynamics. It will gather information about different countries' policies and demographics, and communicate them among the nations. It is very important for the Greek government for this data to be recorded, best practices to be exchanged, and making crucial future decisions, having already achieved measurable results. And today's discussions on the transformative impact of demographic shifts and migration are critical as we confront new realities that will shape our future. They have already been mentioned, the challenges that are all around us, and then the new challenges and the newfangled realities that we have to deal with. Of course, it is important that we address a fundamental aspect of the demographic issue, the rise in life expectancy and the management of longevity and active aging. This reality is arguably one of humanity's greatest achievements, but it also presents us with a significant challenge for modern healthcare and social welfare systems. And to tackle all the shifts that we are experiencing, we must first acknowledge the scale of the challenge before us. Both Greece and Europe, and of course other parts of the world, face rapidly aging populations combining with declining birth rates. In 2022, our population decreased by almost 500,000 people, and the demographic structure shows an increase in population over 65 as younger people's demographics shrink. The numbers are revealing. we observe that the population over 65 now stands at 22.3%, surpassing the European average of 19.1% here in Greece. Naturally, this is a trend that we expect to see expand further in the coming years, with the 65 to 75 age group projected to reach around 600,000 people. Beyond the numbers, these shifts actually reflect broader societal trends. Many Greeks today delay starting families, often prioritizing career advancement or education. Acknowledging and recognizing these challenges, our government has taken decisive action by establishing the newly established Ministry for Social Cohesion and Family Affairs, which I am proud to lead as the first minister of this ministry that the Prime Minister himself decided to initiate, with a mandate to address democratic shifts and foster an inclusive and supportive society alongside all the other competences that our very people-centered ministry is already managing. After months of dedicated effort, we presented our first ever National Action Plan for Demography to the Ministerial Council in September, and we are now in the critical phase of public consultation. We are very proud that we were the first European member state to introduce an action plan right after the initiation of the effort that was made by the European Commission and former Commissioner Dubrovka-Šuica, and presenting the European Toolkit for Demography late 2023. Now, in our action plan, the Greek action plan, with approximately 100 targeted actions of about 20 billion budget over the next 10 years, this plan represents a coordinated response developed with contributions from ministries, academics, stakeholders, and of course the public. The elderly, one of our very important pillars, it prioritizes, of course, Greece's aging population as we strive to ensure fiscal sustainability with accessible long-term care. We are developing a unified strategy for long-term care reform, supported by technical assistance instrument to promote healthy and active aging. Now, people in the 60s, we feel that they're very young and they can still contribute a lot. The idea of the withdrawal of work and life is outdated. They're productive, vigorous, they expect incentives to participate alongside the younger population. And together with the European Commission, we are developing programs for digital training, workforce reintegration, and engagement in volunteer activities. And of course, a very important initiative that was taken by the Greek government that legislated provisions allowing pensioners to re-enter the workforce without losing their benefits. And take note, I'm sure that Minister Keramees will refer to that, more than 192,000 pensioners have returned to contribute to their economy. A very important pillar, another second important pillar from our action plan, strengthening the workforce, youth participation, with migration, another core conference topic, it is often seen as a potential solution to workforce shortages, but it cannot be the sole response, of course. When it comes to strengthening the workforce, a balanced approach is required. Now, we see that, and we shouldn't overlook the fact that a lot of young people left the country back in the days of the economic crisis, and there is a notable progress with the return of about 300,000 people that came back to build their lives back in our country. And this momentum motivates us more to work with even harder to encourage more young individuals and scientists to come back. Since 2019, we have created more than 500,000 jobs and achieved a 28.9% increase in youth employment. In our ministry, the Ministry of Social Cohesion and Family Affairs, we have secured a very important TSI with the European Commission to explore the factors delaying economic independence among youth, mapping existing measures, and developing specific proposals for an action plan on demography. We're very happy that the OECD is the one who will be helping us with this TSI on empowering youth in Greece. To further support youth employment, we are reducing barriers through tax incentives, especially for individuals returning to Greece, as I mentioned before. And a very tangible but important example of how to be able to motivate youth. We have introduced a first job credit program. Regional dimension is very important for the action plan for demography. I'm sure that the OECD People Dynamic Center will very much focus on the locality aspect of addressing demographic trends. We cannot strengthen the workforce or introduce this hope and perspective without achieving the regional development. This is what we're doing here today in Argolida as well with the Prime Minister, as we will be visiting a lot of areas and a lot of regions around Greece in order to introduce very targeted measures and try to keep the youth and reinforce their freedom to stay in the places where they were born. We need to provide solutions and incentives for those who wish to stay or return to the places or their birthplaces. Now, we will target the specific needs for each region in our ministry as well, as we are now introducing with the European funds, the implementation of 13 regional action plans on demography. And we will, of course, have specialized programs that also introduce specific housing and social housing ventures that will provide significant assistance using abandoned public properties and using also private properties. All this are very much fall under the general strategy that we have also on housing. Please take note of the numbers, 5 billion euro in the following 2 years that will amount to the whole effort of Greece's national housing strategy, a very important pillar as well when we face the demographic issue. Last but not least, I would like to make mention to what is very important for us, awareness. An important aspect of our action plan on demography. We know that especially younger people lack the information. They need to see their options. They need to see that the state is there to provide the security and provide the perspective that they need in order to start a family, should they wish to, in order to enter a business that is well paid, secure, respecting labor laws, and of course try to make ends meet in a country where it provides opportunities, and opportunities can be everywhere. That's why I very much stress the local aspect of demography. I am certain that in the years to come, and taking into in consideration the very important takeaways of today's meeting as well, we will be applying these principles and we will be implementing those measures that we see as best practices from around the world. And I'm sure that the OECD Center in Greece will very much do so. I would like to ascertain you that the Greek Ministry for Social Cohesion and Family Affairs, and of course the whole government under the direction of Kyriakos Mitsotakis, the Prime Minister, will very much cooperate and is very willing, of course, to implement those important lessons learned about this crucial factor. I again would like to thank the co-organizers, of course, OECD, the forum, and the municipality of Hania, which hosts today's meeting. I'm very sorry that I cannot be there, but we need to target those policies here in Argolida, and it was adamant that I should be here. Thank you again, and good luck with today's proceedings.
Madam Minister, we thank you very much. Argolida is a lovely place, but not as beautiful as Crete. And actually, the Minister does an unbelievably good job. She has a stamina, she has a drive, and she does very important work at her ministry. We thank you very much for this video communication.